So talk to me a little bit about what prompted the change in vendor period.
It was really part of a strategic plan. So as part of our strategic plan we just completed, we said that when we were looking in the future that we were going to need to be more digital in multiple ways, and so we put it out there. We got our faculty very involved and said, as we look to whether we continue to do what we're doing now or we look for something new, let's have a process. Let's go through a year of doing that, and BibliU rose to the top. And so it was a very campus-wide decision. It was multiple groups involved, our faculty involved, and we decided we wanted to go with BibliU to take us more down a digital path, but also providing some of the things that we felt like we didn't have at that time.
Gotcha. And the digital path, was that more driven by access or affordability or something else?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
We've been a very digital college. When COVID came along, we were uniquely prepared because we had previously put a tremendous effort into distance education and preparing both our students and our faculty. We have particular certifications for distance ed, and as we were becoming more digital, and every program from welding to heavy equipment to arts and sciences uses an LMS platform, has some aspect of digital and distance tied to it. So we were becoming more that way, and BibliU kind of fit that niche, but it's very much allowed us to have much more of in addition to that, have kind of a campus lifestyle that promotes the branding, the campus identity, which was just an added bonus. It wasn't the focus that we strategically focused on, but it was certainly something we were looking to have more on, and BibliU really has done well with that.
I'm glad to hear that. Now, you all had your Eagle Advantage prior to BibliU, which is a flat fee program. So how do you feel like BibliU's Access program, which of course is branded as Eagle Advantage, but how does it differ or compare to what you all were doing?
Well, when you look at, you just look at when we look at our customer satisfaction rates, the support in terms of, we don't have the issues that we had. And you can also see that the opt-outs are very small now, very, very little. So, there was, maybe with a lot of, first aid programs, there was probably a little bit, regardless of who was doing it, transition. And we were going through that, whether it was how much was because of vendor and how much was because of just being new. But it's certainly gotten to the place now where it's well accepted. It's but much of why it's well accepted too is I think the support of BibliU. BibliU has really been just in the transition from where we were going. Knowing we're a very big college, and anytime you make a transition into something like this, there's going to be glitches along the way, and there are going to be skeptics who are going to say, well, we shouldn't have switched because this book something didn't show up on time or whatever.
Something happened.
But it was surprising that it was such a big transition for a very big college, but the issues we had were very minimal, and much easier transition than I ever would have imagined.
Yeah, is there anything specifically that you all did on your side to make that transition more successful?
I think we have a very strong business team. We recruited some of our former bookstore leadership to work with us to help make that transition, and so I think really it was good teamwork on both teams. Where they came together, and I think we were pretty well prepared as a college to deal with things, and I think BibliU really was prepared and then had a very, very strong customer service approach to it.
That's great. What advice would you give to any other college presidents who are looking to potentially make a similar change?
I think one of the things that helped us in the change, it was two things. One, that for us, we were deliberate about the change, and we talked to our broad team and our faculty association about, here's where we are now. Where we are now may not get better. It may actually get worse over time. So, but we need to make a conscious decision as a college of, are we going to keep doing the same thing? Or are we going to do something different? And BibliU was pretty new at the time. It's certainly taken more of a hold. So, but at that time, there weren't as many places that we could look to, and did not have the scale that we had. So, but we knew we had to make a move or things were going to probably not improve over time. And I think one of the things that helped is having that broader year-long conversation before we did something, and then BibliU coming in and being so strong in the digital connection and so strong in the customer support, it just came together in a great way.
Good. I'm so glad to hear that. And tell me more about the actual physical bookstore side of things. So we've talked about the digital, the access program, which is great. Have you seen any positive movement in the physical store as
well? They're
well?
the same stores, but they're different stores,
Yeah.
right? So they are, from the outside, they're the same.
Of course.
They're the same buildings, they're the same places, but the inside is much more colorful, much more, the brand. And just if you look at the huge growth in apparel, soft goods sales, which is something that was important to us too, because brand's important to us. So every time a student's wearing our brand, they're advertising for us. But you have to have stuff that they want to wear, and that certainly has happened. And also, they're just looking at different things like the pop-up shops that we do different places. Have really been successful, and so we love seeing our Wake Tech name out there all over the place, and seeing our logos and brands. And
faculty, hopefully, too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Good.
People are proud of the college, and they want to show off the college, but BibliU allowed that to happen in a way, and it has grown tremendously over the last couple of years.